this will be firing. This will be able to support it also. Interesting thing about Terran is they have upgrades to their buildings which give them additional armor. I'm going to go over more about armor in the Zerg video, upgrades in general, but the point is it makes this extra tough. I think it has actually 5 armor, so this is a pretty tough beam to bring down. And if you get kind of dicey, just grab your SCVs, right? You have all your SCVs, you just tell them to all repair it, and they're repairing this while it's shelling out pretty significant damage. So another thing, it's a pretty easy habit, and this is usually the problem whenever you have about 2 or 3 expansions. It's a knee-jerk. First of all, you want to make sure you rally point your command center, even your first command center, obviously. All your command centers to minerals, so that when you hit SCVs, you start to, as soon as they come out, they immediately go to minerals. You can be off doing stuff, you can be out, playing with your friends and killing your people, whatever. Anyway, and the point is that the SCVs will come out and they'll immediately start mining. But a common habit is as soon as you make a base, you start queuing up a ton of SCVs, right? Well, make sure you understand that back in your original base, these minerals are going to run out. They're not going to last forever, and neither will the best-paying gas. So you're going to have a bunch of unemployed SCVs here. So when they're done, just assume these are done, you can kind of move all these over to your new base, and you can save both army and money. Of course, you got to lower your supply depots in order for them to get out. Kind of acting a little silly if they can't get out, can they? Nice. Now we have some glitchiness here. That's the first pathfinding issue I've seen in this game. Oh no, I just put it back up, is why I didn't do it. So anyway, if the supply depot goes down, you get your SCVs out there. And then you can just kind of recycle, so to speak, those SCVs. So, yeah, because you're going to have at least 6 SCVs, 3 on each mineral, or not mineral, best paying gas, and then, of course, however many you had, 10 to 20, I would guess, on your minerals. So that's that's enough to fill up another expansion. Yeah. So let's say, so another thing I want to talk about is hotkeys. Hotkeys are really important. Even though all the commands you need, all the spells, all the commands, all the abilities and buildings and upgrades that you can access easily from this menu, you will play infinitely faster and infinitely better if you learn to use hotkeys as soon as you can. So for example, it's just as simple as it sounds. Hotkey is just when you look at these little abilities here, and there's going to be, I can't move my mouse of it, you see it says use stim pack and it says T, so all you have to do to use stim pack is when you grab your units, you hit T, and then it uses the stim pack right on them, and that's how quick it is to use hotkeys. I'm going to bring my medevac over here, heal those units because I like to do that sort of thing. So that's all it comes down to, and it's with everything in the game. So S is SCV. You just got to kind of look at it and you learn it. Upgrade's not so important because you just kind of use them every once in a while. But definitely units or commands, and particularly spells. So when you have a Raven, and you're kind of moving around, and you see this enemy, and you see 100 Secrets is R, you quickly hit it, then you run away. So you can click. I didn't even have to click on the ability, and I use the ability. Anyway, you see how it works out like that. So those are some sort of hotkeys. And additional hotkeys that help you build are, let's say you see a huge Mutalisk, or some kind of air threat, I'll say, in this game. You can go build turret. Right? So it's B and T. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to say BT. I got turret here. And you need to build a bunch of turrets in consecutive order. If you hold shift is waypoints. You click, you click the first turret, and then my mouse is disappearing. That did not work at all. Let me try that one more time. Escape is stop building. BT. I hold shift. Now, when I move it around, I can place additional turrets. And this is lagging like a mofo. And you can keep placing them around. Anyway, it should be faster than this, but I don't know why it's moving so slow, to be honest. Anyway, you get the idea. You can move around and keep placing these turrets. And he will move around and go in that exact way. And then I believe you just don't just click on something else to get rid of him. If you right-click him around, he'll move and he'll lose all the commands. So that's how you can have one SCV build that way. You can even do it quicker. Here's another little expansion I got here. If you grab multiple workers, I'm going to hit BT turret, click, BT turret, click, BT turret, click, and they each go around. So you can have 3 SCVs moving around, and this is particularly useful. You can have 3 SCVs moving around, building buildings. This is really useful with Zerg, because Zerg has to sacrifice a drone in order to build a building. So that's the kind of thing there. I think that's all I wanted to say for Terran. Keep in mind there are, I can go on for hours about different strategies and tactics. But like I said, keeping your opponent arm's length away is kind of the name of the game for Terran on a casual level, fun way to play it. There are so many details, like I said, but Okay, yeah. I'll go over some basic strategies when you are attacking with Terran. So we've all seen large amounts of infantry and medevacs, right? Medevacs can heal, which is the main appeal to these, and people moving with some marauders or some marines or a combination of both. And you come across your opponent, just imagine it's kind of an opponent, maybe we're moving on a position. Since you have a large number of medevacs, what I like to do is it's all about how you maneuver with these little guys. Unlike medics that are actually mixed in with your units in Starcraft 1, that were good for blocking, you really can't do that anymore, so you have to kind of play your cards a little cleverly. So I usually hit like Stim Pack right now, and right now my medevacs can quickly heal my units. I kind of hit A, and then left click, which makes attack move, and they're moving really fast, and they're coming in and they're fighting and doing stuff. Maybe you're losing some. Let's say you see a large number of Banelings or something that's coming in that looks really dicey. The bonus of having these medevacs right here is that you can just quickly click on them real quick. You can throw a lot of your units, if not most of them, into a medevacs and fly out of there. Now you may lose these units, but you saved all of these units right here. I'm going to hit D for unload, left click, and it's going to drop all my units somewhere safe where I need them to be. And of course, I just saved myself a lot of headache. And that sort of thing you can do to get faster, and you'll get faster at that the more you practice that sort of thing. Not that I'm saying, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but I mean, like, there's obviously things that I can. I mean, like, I am not by any stretch a pro, but there's some little tricks you can do, of course, to get faster and kind of tricky with your opponent. Another thing I noticed with medevacs is you kind of come over here. Let's say these guys are damaged and they're fighting. Just use some stim packs to a little bit of health, and you move over here. Just move to about range here and hit S. And when you hit S, the units will it makes them stop. They don't stop for everything. You see how they're kind of pressing along here and healing my guys automatically? Stop and hold are two different commands. Hold basically means when you have a unit here, it's like, okay, hold means this guy will not move no matter what. He will fire at anything in his range, but if it's out of his range and it's attacking him, he's just going to sit there until he dies or it dies. Stop, on the other hand, is kind of like a guard stance, but your units will chase other units to the ends of the earth and back. So keep your eye on your units. It's good to just you just keep moving off. You know, you group them up and you bring them back. And of course, if you don't know what control groups are, obviously you would you can select multiple units by clicking and dragging control +1. And anytime you my medevacs are in group 2, control 2 respectively. Anytime you hit 1, you go to your units. So if I'm across the map, I double tap 1. It brings me right back to those units. If I'm across the map and I hit 1, then I click, they're moving there. And I hit 2 to select medevacs, click them down there also. Double tap 2 to see where they are. And hit 1, click, 2, click. You can kind of move your units quickly that way. You can also see them down here, kind of another way to describe it. Notice I have one thing over here. My orbital command, I personally, I don't know what people do, but I personally have to set to group 0. So, and the reason why I set orbital commands, I think you can do this to 2 orbital commands. I'm going to make another one real quick just to make sure. Because you can't, oh, I have one right here. So, I hit 0, which selects my orbital command on my base. Double tap it goes back to my base, right? So we know it's that right command. I'm going to hold shift, which makes you can add a selection. And now I hit click on this base, which now I have 2 orbital commands. I hit control 0. Now I have both orbital commands on group 0. And with smart casting in StarCraft 2, the hotkey for scanning is C. So I can scan whenever I want. So I'm out and I'm fighting Dark Templars and Lurkers and all this other shenanigans. I'm saying I'm tired of these cloaked units. I hit 0, C, I hit scan, and I immediately have a detector wherever I am. Now a Raven is good because it has spells and stuff, but this detector is indestructible. I just click as many times as I need to, up to 8 times, until the energy is running out. I can keep scanning into my opponent's base. I hit 0, C, I hit C. I can keep scanning around as much as I want because I don't have to go back to my base to use it. So that's another really trick you can do. You can group buildings to it, particularly ones that have casting. You can do it with the Nexus, with Protoss. You can chrono boost stuff, etc. So it's interesting things you can do to kind of improve your game using these UI enhancements. Another popular strategy is kind of like a siege tank push. Here's siege tanks, for example, in defensive position. What you'll see is units will enemy units will come attack. Let's say these are enemy units right here, and they're coming in. Oh my gosh, and they're coming in attack. Here's how the cliff system works. If you have units, I'm going to move these units because it's kind of cluttery here. If you have units at different places, like say this is a group of enemy units, and they can only shoot ground, they can't see up here, but I can see them, right? So these siege tanks are going to be shelling out on these enemy units, just no questions asked sort of thing. If they have a Colossus or a flying unit in the area, so this is an enemy